Welcome to my channel, Zoom into History. This is my very first long-form video, so if you love exploring the what-ifs and hidden turns of our past, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Today, we're diving into one of the greatest questions in history. What if the Roman Empire never fell? Imagine a world where Roman legions still patrol Europe, where Latin never died, and where modern cities rise under the shadow of ancient emperors. In this video, we'll explore how the world might look, politically, culturally, and technologically, if Rome had endured for thousands of years. So, let's zoom into history and see what might have been. What if the most legendary empire in history never crumbled? Imagine a world where the Roman Empire never fell. What would our lives look like today? Would we be speaking Latin? Would gladiators be our modern-day sports stars? Let's dive into an alternate timeline and explore a world shaped by an eternal Rome. First, let's set the stage. It's the 5th century AD. In our timeline, the Western Roman Empire is on its last legs, besieged by internal strife and external pressures. But in this reality, a series of brilliant emperors, successful reforms, and a little bit of luck turn the tide. The empire doesn't just survive, it thrives, adapting and evolving. So, what's the first big change? Borders. Forget the familiar map of Europe you know today. France, Spain, Germany, the UK, these distinct nations likely wouldn't exist in the same way. Instead, imagine a sprawling unified state stretching from Britain to the Middle East, a colossal federation of provinces all looking to Rome. Local cultures would still exist, of course, but everyone would be, first and foremost, a Roman citizen. The political landscape of the world would be dominated by this single, massive superpower, creating a very different kind of global politics. Perhaps, instead of countless small wars, there would be massive, long-term standoffs between Rome and other continental powers like empires in China or India. Now, let's talk about language. While you might think we'd all be speaking classical Latin, it's more likely that a simplified, evolved version, a sort of vulgar Latin 2.0, would become the global lingua franca, much like English is today. Local languages would probably survive as regional dialects, but for trade, law, and administration, everyone would use Roman. So, instead of saying hello, you might be saying salvate, or a futuristic version of it, to people all across the globe. What about religion? This is where things get really interesting. In our history, Christianity rose as the Roman Empire declined, with the Church stepping in to fill the power vacuum. But with a strong centralized Rome still in charge, the relationship would be different. Christianity would still be a major religion, but its power would be subordinate to the state. The emperor, not the pope, would likely be the ultimate authority. It's also possible that the old Roman pantheon of gods might have survived in some syncretic form, blended with local beliefs and perhaps even with Christian elements, creating a unique and complex religious tapestry across the empire. The great schisms and reformations that shaped modern Christianity might never have happened. Technology and science would be on a completely different trajectory. The Romans were master engineers, but their reliance on slave labor arguably slowed down their need for labor-saving inventions. In an eternal Rome, this would have to change. As the empire stabilized and expanded, the need for efficiency would drive innovation. Imagine Roman ingenuity applied to industrialization. We might have seen a Roman industrial revolution centuries earlier than our own. Steam power, developed from Hero of Alexandria's early concepts, could have powered Roman factories and even aqueduct-like railway systems. Concrete cities would soar to new heights, blending classical architecture with modern engineering. We might have computers running on a base 12 system instead of binary, and our scientific foundations would be built directly on the work of Roman and Greek thinkers without the Dark Ages interrupting the flow of knowledge. And society, Roman law would be the foundation for a global legal system, emphasizing order, citizenship, and the state. Social mobility might be more rigid, with a clear class structure of patricians, plebeians, and a reformed system of labor, but Roman citizenship would be a prized status worldwide. And entertainment. The Colosseum might have evolved. Instead of gladiator combat, picture massive state-sponsored spectacles. Imagine chariot races with powered vehicles, or mock naval battles in technologically advanced arenas. These would be the Super Bowls of the Roman world, reinforcing imperial unity and pride. Our cultural touchstones would be Virgil and Ovid, not Shakespeare and Dickens. So, what does this world look like in the 21st century? We see a planet dominated by a single, colossal power, the Roman Empire, which has long since reached the moon, planting a standard with the Eagle and SPQR. Its cities are marvels of clean, efficient engineering, a blend of ancient aesthetics and futuristic tech. There's a universal language, a unified legal code, and a sense of shared identity as Romans. But it wouldn't be a perfect utopia. This immense power could also lead to immense control. A centralized government with surveillance technology that would make the Praetorian Guard blush could monitor its citizens' every move. Rebellions in far-flung provinces would be a constant threat, and the cultural homogenization could lead to a loss of unique traditions. The world might be more orderly, but perhaps less vibrant, less diverse. Would the individual freedoms we cherish today exist in an empire built on order and conformity? It's a fascinating and slightly unnerving thought. From politics to pop culture, an unbroken Roman lineage would have created a present that is almost unrecognizable, a world of marble and microchips, of Latin and laser-fast transport. It reminds us just how much of our world was shaped not by what happened, but by what didn't happen, by the fall of an empire that echoes through our own history. What do you think? Would you want to live in this eternal Roman Empire? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a wild thing to imagine, and it really makes you appreciate the unique, chaotic, and beautiful path our own history has taken. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into an alternate past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Until next time, stay curious.